He's a redneck.
Yeah. Yeah. We've got, well, I mean, Alberta is pretty much redneck too.
That's probably why I like it. Yeah, I did hear again from Virgo,
Oh, yeah.
and I basically very simple. They said, I'll just read it to you. Just one sec. Very tiny little email here. I'll try to find it before everybody else comes on.
Sure.
It's just like a couple of little lines here. Um, Thank you for reaching out. This was after there was one before I didn't send to you, thanking us for sending them the video.
Okay.
For small amount balance left in your account, you can use the small amount conversion function. Here's the detailed instruction, converting small balances on Virgo. Could you please try this and let us know if you have further questions?
Okay. Yeah, well, let's definitely try that out.
Okay.
Let's definitely try that out.
Yeah, on Thursday when we get together at 2. Just leave it for now.
Yeah, that'll be great. I'm going to go ahead and talk charts a little bit.
Okay.
Not too long. I did a pretty good one yesterday. But I just want to touch base with some of the assets today. And where did my... There it is. All right. So the first thing I'm going to bring up is good old gold again. Mm-hmm. So gold has been continuing to rise, and ever since the crash, actually, that we experienced, I shouldn't really call it a crash, the fake crash that we had. It's been... What's that?
The false alarm crash.
Yeah, the false alarm. It has been continuing to rise. We had that little bit of a pullback right after the... Oh, let me just get my screen maxed out here. There we go. Oh. My green screen is also... There we go. All right. So gold just keeping on chugging after the little pullback that we had the last 3 days. It has been coming back up again, creating a new all-time high of $3,251. And right now, just shy of that. There we go, right there. And so we're hanging out here at the moment. Yesterday, gold actually went down from that all-time high, but already today it's starting to show some strength, coming back to challenge the top. One thing to be mindful of is that we still have a great deal of bullish volume here. It's kind of tough to see because I got the green screen kind of cutting out the green here, but this bluish zone here, that is bullish volume. So a lot of people are still buying. I don't see that momentum really dying down very much, especially on the daily chart. As there is more and more insecurity in the markets, more and more people are finding security in gold. So we're going to see that continue to climb. Silver, though, finally, the last few days we've been seeing it climb, but of course not before a big drop there last week after the stock markets came down. And we can see that in here, this volume is actually bearish. So right now, overall, we're still seeing people selling silver. So we don't have a confirmed bullish trend yet. This long-term trend, this long-term trend line, it was heavily tested, but we've bounced back above it now. What we need to see is a new high get above this high way back here from October. It hasn't even beat that yet. So until it beats that, we don't have confirmation of a bullish trend at all. in the Japanese markets, still very much below our previous support. In fact, having a difficult time regaining any kind of ground. I would expect that as we see lots of bearish volume here, this oscillator, this line that goes up and down, it usually oscillates with the market prices as it goes up and down. So does this. But here we can see that it's rising. The oscillator is rising, but we still have lots of bearish volume. So even though this oscillator is coming up, we're not seeing it actually rise up correlatively. We're not seeing the price action follow that. And it's because that bearish volume is still there. So it's very, very likely that this momentum will continue and we will see another drop in the Japanese markets. When we take a look at the previous supports, we can see that this line here where we dropped, this coincides with the drop that occurred in August of last year. And again, the last time we were trading at these levels was from October of 2023. With this price bouncing off of that line, only coming up, not even being able to challenge the previous resistance, it is likely to see another drop, and we'll probably see the price fall into this area of support back from this was back from March of 2023, during the dark night of the soul that the markets were experiencing due to the belief that Biden had something to do with it. We also have the US 30 that has definitely come back and found some sense of support, but it's not a very strong support. I would like to see this price get above this high for us to know that we're recovering. Unless it does that, there's no confirmation that the markets are recovering like the media pretends that it will. In fact, this low level here, the last time we were at that level was December 2023. That's how low it got. And again, similar to the Japanese markets, if we are not able to get this price action above this line here, this is the 41,700 line. If we're not able to get above that, we'll likely see another drop coming down to this support here, and possibly even further, depending on how much momentum we have. As we can see, there's not a whole lot of volume either way, but there's a sliver of orange. So we are seeing dominantly, we're seeing more bearish volume. This oscillator has just come up for a quick curve. I'm going to just maximize this a little bit so we can see. You can see that the oscillator has come up, but of course, the price has not been rising at the same level as this, and we're not coming close. I don't think we're coming close to challenging this previous high quite yet. When you take into consideration that to mitigate this drop, they had to throw in $1 trillion into the market, that there is indicative that they don't have what it takes to do more. If they did, it would have to be another $1 trillion for it to get above that part. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't think the U.S. has that in liquidity. They are so over leveraged with debt that I believe what we're witnessing is the transformation, or this transfer of wealth from the old asset-backed commodities, of time. We've been subject to this for quite some time, and my mouse has gone wonky again on me. This happens a couple of times now where I'm not able to click anything for a bit. But this drop here, again, the money doesn't disappear. It simply transfers from one form to another. And this drop here coincided with massive investments that were being placed by the large companies into data-backed assets. And we see movements like Tesla, for example, or SpaceX, where a lot of money is being poured into simply because of the amount of data that companies are able to extract. And this ties in with why I keep saying we gotta get our data private, because if we can privatize our data, then they can't capitalize on it. And being that we create that data, it is our property, and I believe that that should be held with greater regard. I mean, it's, to me, the way that I see things, because of how much data has become the driving force behind this renaissance. It becomes important that we take responsibility of that. No different than if you got a bunch of money and you just laid it out on the table and you told Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, or the executives at Google, you told them just to come and take your money because it was theirs and they could use it however they wanted. That's how I see people surrendering their data, because the commodities of the future are all backed by data. And if you are not privatizing it, then you have essentially put it out on the table and told all those big companies that they can capitalize on all of it. So that is, and my mouse is still doing that thing. What if I go like this? Oh yeah, there we go. Oh no, still doing it there. Well, anyway, that's really all I wanted to share as far as the markets go today. I just wanted to share those few things. Cryptos overall, they're really still in a downward trend. I know a lot of people are excited about, the prospect of making all kinds of money, and I agree. There's going to be a great opportunity here. In fact, the growth that we're going to see is going to really make up for a lot of the losses that we've seen, and then some. So I am long-term very much bullish on cryptos. However, we don't have confirmation of an upward trend quite yet. And Audrey just made it on. And that's all I wanted. Yeah, like I say, that's all I really wanted to cover for charts today. Really, right now, even ADA, I'll quickly grab that chart. Even ADA, over the last, what is this now? Basically, since April 9th, it's just been consolidating back and forth. So for the last week, we've just been seeing a consolidation of price between 66 cents US and, let's say, 61 cents US. So until we see the price break out of this zone here, I have no idea which way it's going to go. We need to see a confirmation. And until then, I'm pretty much pausing all my trades, because there's no point in flipping a coin on this one. I would much rather have a trend to trade than consolidation. So once we see a breakout, then I'll be able to make a decision on what my position will be. If it goes down, I will likely see, I will expect a retest of the lower level of this consolidation zone. If it goes up, then I expect a retest of the upper level of this. But again, till we see it, right now there's some downward momentum in ADA, but nothing's conclusive yet until we break out of this consolidation zone. So yeah, that's it for charts today. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing and let's mastermind. How are you, Audrey?
Hi, Audrey.
Hey.
Things are going good?
Yep. I'm
Good
going to have
stuff.
a free few hours here, so that'll be good.
Nice.
Things are coming.
What are you up to, Audrey?
I'm going to make my counters. Well, the bases for my counters. And then I'm going to buy butcher blocks for the counters themselves. So at Home Depot, they have some really good sales.
Nice.
Butcher block. So, yeah.
Nice.
Are you in a new house?
No, this is the same. I still look after the guy upstairs. And
You're just making some homey changes.
Well, I didn't have a kitchen. I hadn't had a kitchen for 2 years. I hadn't had a sink in a kitchen area. So I was doing all my dishes in the bathroom.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've lived like that at times. Yeah.
Yep, I was done after 2.5 years. I'm like, forget it. So I just got my flooring, put my flooring in. Looks really nice. My flooring, I don't know if you can see it here. My flooring looks really
Oh,
nice.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, so I'm making counters over there where the red thing is. It's kind of my fridge and stuff. I'm making it there, and my stove will be over in this area. So yeah. But I'm doing it myself. Yeah. Outside, I'm doing stuff as well, and I don't care what he says anymore. Just doing it.
Yep, just do it. Treat it like your place.
Go for it. You're making it better, so how can anyone complain, right?
Yeah, well,
Your own steam. So
exactly. This is my own.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm doing. And how about you? Are you like you're all settled? I don't even know where you are.
I
know you're in
I
BC.
don't know where I am either. On the bigger scale, I haven't got a clue. Yeah, I live in Vancouver, in East Vancouver, in a laneway house, greenway, urban. Not a tree in sight, wires and all that sort of stuff hanging, and close enough to the Lower East Side, where like yesterday there was a couple of people severely impacted by probably fentanyl, just outside my door practically, and that's not an unusual occurrence. So yeah, I'm I live with one of my sons. He's been away for the last 3.5 months. He's coming Friday, late Friday. He's been in Malaysia, and I think we're both. I haven't lived with him since he left home when he was 16 and went to Lake Louise and snowboarded and stayed out in that area for a couple of years. But we're both kind of feeling and like we want to go somewhere else. We just right now for him, he's an actor, and in spite of all of my discomfort with that industry, and he has probably going to have another season of the show that he's on coming up in this summer, and so we'll probably be here. Like I'm just not feeling like all the crazy shit in the world. I'm just not feeling like I want to pack my bags and go in another direction than him. We're very close with each other. Yeah, that's and in the meantime, I keep feeling like I'm digging into all sorts of rabbit holes and stuff, and sometimes I can share that with him. And he's been talking a lot about wanting to get a piece of land. So, well, you never might find a little spot. Certainly not in this province for a whole lot of reasons. This is to me the hub of the darkest part of what's happening is in Canada is happening in this province. So
I don't know. I think there's spots everywhere.
little hubs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like even Edmonton and Calgary being 15-minute cities, Red Deer to a certain degree, not as much, but Edmonton and Calgary, it's getting rough where if you're downtown, you will see multiple people strung. Yeah.
It's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
It's like probably, and this part that what they call the Lower East Side has predominantly probably in the 20s and the 30s when Indigenous people were coming into the city, leaving the reserves. So it has a huge history as people trying to make it in the city, and now with this the last few years of legislation in British Columbia, which has completely legalized all like fentanyl, heroin. So you've got a significant population of people with deep addiction and trauma issues who can go and buy cocaine, heroin.
On any street corner.
Like there's actually, they don't even have to buy it on the street corner. There's stores, like you can go to the cocaine store, and so you see like.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just thought that it was still like legalized in the sense that you weren't going to get apprehended or confiscated if you were possessing. But you're telling me that in the similar way that there's cannabis stores, there are cocaine stores in BC.
And yeah. And yeah, it's
wow.
hard to even comprehend. Like I didn't believe it when I heard it, but now I've been there. Yeah, well, I go down there not regularly, but the bus that I would, if I take a bus over to the west side of Vancouver, there's another way I can go, but I go that way occasionally, mostly because I want to bear witness to it. I don't want to be one of those Vancouverites who pretends that there's this city. I want to be able to, acknowledge that that's going on, and so it creates a pretty disturbing vibe. And with I think with heroin and fentanyl, what happens is it has really serious impact on people's spines. So you see dozens and dozens of people completely, you've probably seen it in Calgary and Edmonton and those areas where people have lost any kind of capacity to stand up straight. So they're hanging, they're awake, they're just literally hanging over and they can't pick themselves back up again. There's so many people in that situation. So,
yeah, it's terrible. It is. They're literally bent over like this, and just and if they're walking like this too. Like
exactly. They can't stand up straight anymore. Yeah. They're literally bent like a jackknife. Their face is almost down on the ground.
On their
And they and they're like that 24/7 because the strength of the spine has been completely eroded. Like it's eroded the spine.
Yeah.
So
that's very, very symbolic,
isn't it?
That they're just making us all spineless.
Yes, spineless. Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you're right, Audrey. It's so. Anyways, I'm hoping that when my son gets home, we'll have some more conversations about where we might want to go, and it's also incredibly expensive in this city. Just like phenomenally.
Probably
one of the most expensive cities in the world is Vancouver because it's a trendy city. Everybody wants to live in Vancouver.
I've never wanted to.
No, if you told me 4 years ago that I would end up living here, I would say you were crazy. But at the point that I came, I was living on Bowen Island, and I had so many serious health issues that I was coming constantly over to Vancouver for medical appointments. And and then I had my sons here and my grandson, and I would live in the world. But I was supposed to be moving into a place with a friend in North Vancouver, which is much closer to nature. There's a lot of beautiful trails and everything. And then 10 days before I'd already given my notice. I was already packed up 10 days before that move was through with that person. Because I had to move in with my son because I had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So this was not my intention, but I got put here by my own foolish decision making. There's somebody I'd only known for a few years.
Sorry, I'll be back.
Oh yes, no problem. Anyways, that doesn't have anything to do with what we're supposed. Oh, and did you want it to be recording?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Now that you have my life story, well, you already knew it.
I know we do sometimes make moves and they assist us, and sometimes they're not very assisting.
Yeah, definitely.
It's good though that you had backup.
Really? Yeah. I really, yeah. It was a good thing we like each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting situation. I'm glad he'll be back, and then we can start talking. I'm sure he's been changed by this experience of traveling, as traveling does, right? To the sea.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I got my QSEP number now.
Oh, you did it. Awesome. Good news.
I had a little bit of a question, and I sent it off to him, and I haven't heard back, but I'm sure he's incredibly busy. But do you have yours?
No.
I wonder if Audrey has hers, just to ask to see, because at the top, so I got my all caps name, Denise Christine Hall, and beside it in brackets is my what looks like my birthday, or the day it was issued, which I know that's correct, the 8th of 1953 or whatever. But in the brackets it says BC, and I don't know if that's the birth certificate or, like, I'm not born in BC. I'm born in Alberta. I sent him my live birth certificate with the hospital I was born in Calgary, the Catholic Grey Nun Hospital. So I don't know if he's made a mistake. Did you get your QSEP, Audrey? No.
Not yet.
Not yet?
I'm on that yet.
There's a paperwork that Laura sent me. Well, I shouldn't say paperwork, a website rather, of a gentleman that figured out how to get a diplomat passport.
No, Julie.
And that, to me, is very interesting. I'm going to be researching that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A guy in Canada?
No, this gentleman is in the States.
Right.
However, he's saying that if you correlate what he does, you can accomplish it in any nation.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'd love to know about that too.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking through it and seeing what I can accomplish. To be honest, for as simple as it seems, it'd be worth it to give it a try. And I mean, if it doesn't work out, try again. Make adjustments.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to end the live stream. We'll just go private from here on out.